let's get it set up here, Loren, because the people that are watching that are close to retirement, they know exactly what you're about to talk about, is that there's a lot of pieces coming together for them as they move to retirement.
I think that's a really good way to look at it. There's a lot of pieces to this retirement puzzle. We spend a lot of time on the show and on our podcasts and through our Journey to Retirement workshop talking about what a retirement plan is. We do this every single day, but I think sometimes it gets lost in translation of what really is a retirement plan. People sit down with us for the first time and we lead them through what their retirement lifestyle would look like. They tell us, we talk about some of the components of the retirement plan, but still the picture looks really fuzzy. It's really disorganized, a lot of times people will say. And we have a visual on the board. I think we'll demonstrate this pretty well. And we start out with a puzzle. And when you start with a puzzle, you have all of these pieces on the table. We put together a lot of puzzles over our Thanksgiving break with our family. And it starts like this, where you're not quite sure what the puzzle picture really looks like. You're not quite sure what your retirement picture looks like until you start to put together the components of your retirement plan. And you start to really get a look at, here's the different income sources that you have. Here's the different types of tax strategies you should be looking at. Here's some of the risks that could come into play to disrupt some of the income sources. And you get all the components of your plan put together. And then now your retirement vision becomes crystal clear. And with that crystal clearness comes confidence. Because now you get a real understanding of when you retire, here's where your income is going to come from now, later, and then your forever money as well. And so where we start in developing the overall income plan is first we have to take an inventory of what your income sources are. Where could you potentially deliver your retirement income from a source standpoint? Do you have a 401k plan? Do you have an IRA, maybe a Roth IRA, maybe a Roth 401k plan? Do you still have a pension? Which pension election options make the most sense for you? Are we taking single lifetime income? Are we taking a joint lifetime income? There's a lot of options that come with pension. And there's even more options that can come with your Social Security election. In fact, up to 81 different options. So we look at what income sources do you have, take an inventory of it, and then we look at what are some different risks that could come into play to disrupt the overall income that you have coming in. Because once you retire and you have your $5,000 a month coming in, you want to make sure that $5,000 a month is going to be adequate to provide you with your retirement lifestyle. Not only now, but also later down the road. So we'll calculate some of the risks that are particular to you. One of those risks could be market risk, and you feel this right now. With the markets doing what they're doing, you log onto your 401k, you log onto your IRA, and you are concerned because you see those account balances going down. Now, you can't control the markets. We can't control the markets, but to a large degree, you can control how your portfolio reacts to the markets. Now, when you're 40 years old and you're just putting money into your investments every single pay period, you're not as concerned about the market movements. But now you're a year away from retiring. You need income from your investments. Now that's where that concern really pops up. And I can't tell you how many people come to us who don't have a retirement plan in place, and they say, I really wanted to retire this year, not sure I can. Not sure I can because of where your 401k plans are, where your IRAs are, and where this market and economy is, and where you think it could be heading. So we have to take into account market risk, have a plan in place to make sure that whatever happens with the crazy market doesn't disrupt your retirement plans. We have legislative risk. Again, we can't control what Congress does. And what Congress does can have an immediate impact on your overall retirement plan. Just a couple quick examples. 2020, the Secure Act was implemented that really changed the landscape, the orientation of people's legacy plans. 2016, there was landmark Social Security changes that really impacted the level of income that a lot of pre-retirees could receive from their Social Security. Legislative changes take place all the time. It could interrupt or decrease the overall amount of spendable income that you have. We have to plan for that stuff. This is where a level of proactive planning can really help with this. But then we also have to be reactive as legislation comes into play as well. We also have inflation risk. We're feeling that. We go to the grocery store, we go to the gas pump, and our money is not going as far this year as what it did even last year, and certainly the year before. Inflation will go up, inflation will go down, much like the market. It will eat into your overall spendable income if you don't have a plan in place for it. And then finally, we have tax risk. The higher taxes are, the less spendable income you have. And it takes a really integrated, intentional tax plan to make sure that you can receive adequate income from your income sources, the inventory of income sources, not only now, but also down the road. Again, this is where the proactive planning really comes into place to make sure that you have confidence that you can receive the income from all those sources right now and later down the road to provide that retirement lifestyle that you've been dreaming about for the last 30 years. Thank you for watching this clip of Retiring Today, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have questions about your retirement plan, take advantage of the complimentary 15-minute retirement checkup phone call.